This is the Golden Hooligan Crab, next up in our EP Fiber series. This is an awesome little bonefish crab. We're going to be using a couple different of the EP fibers. We're going to be using the original fibers to build the body, and we're going to be using the 3D fibers to add a little extra to the tail. And I'm using a size 2 saltwater hook on this. And we're going to start by building a little thread base about eyes length back. And get a thread base down as you move back towards where we're going to tie the tail in. And I've already pre-cut my EP fibers here. I've got about a 2-inch piece of the 3D fibers for the tail, and I've got about 6 2-inch pieces that we're going to be using for the body of just original fiber. And if you grab your bunch here for the tail and pinch with one hand and pull some fibers out with the other, you can get a nice taper to the section you're going to tie in. And we're going to tie that in right on top of the hook shank. Next, we'll be adding our Krystal Flash. And we want this one on the top of our tail section. And if you throw in a couple wraps underneath, it helps hold up those fibers and support it a little better than just being on the hook shape. They tend to fan down. Next, we're going to add a small little section of hackle. This builds a little transition between the body and the tail itself. And we're only doing about 3 or 4 wraps here. Then we're going to be laying down some dubbing to help hold those fibers back. And I'm using a little bit of green ice dubbing here to tie in my tail section and my body thread color. Make sure your wraps kind of fold those fibers from the hackle back a little bit. And next we're going to be adding in our eyes. You can buy pre-made eyes or you can make your own. I've used 2 sections of 20-piece mono and I've melted the ends of it until it created a little ball, and then used a marker to make them black, and then a couple beads of UV resin to create the eyes. You could also do this with different beads, different color markers, or nail polish. Next, we're going to be tying in at the halfway mark one of our sections of original fiber, and then we're going to be pulling that back, wrapping over it to add another little transition from our tail section to our body section. For this, it's a lot easier to take your section of fibers and wrap it around your thread, and when you ease it into place, you can hold one of the sides, and then as you do your wraps, do an X over the 2 sections to get everything to line up straight. And then you're going to repeat this process until you fill up the body until it's flush behind dumbbell eyes. It'll vary depending on the length of your hook. And I'm adding an extra whip finish here, just to help hold everything together. And the next step is to trim the body section, and we're going to make sure that we part the fibers properly. And you want to pull out the section straight, and then you can round off the body with your scissors. And then we'll be adding 2 strands of rubber legs folded in half over the thread. And then locking the fly down with a couple whip finishes. And I'm adding some UV resin along the spine of the hook shank, right over the dumbbell eyes and onto the head. And this will help lock down all your previous wraps. Then I'll also be adding a little bit under the bottom side of the head. And the last step is to trim your legs. And there's the golden Hooligan Crab pattern, featuring EP fibers.